Hello everybody and welcome back to the stream. It's Wednesday and you know what that means. It's time for Jump Around, our weekly cardio class, and I'm tired. Which is a great way to go into a cardio class. Hi everybody. Yeah, I took a very unexpected afternoon nap, which was lovely. But then I woke up and had like 40 minutes to class and was like, oh, okay, I have to work through this grogginess a little more quickly than expected. But it's okay, because I'm going to make cookies afterwards. I did not make cookies before class. I'm going to make them after class. It's going to be my fun evening activity. And then tomorrow's Thanksgiving. See? I'm going to be, yeah, my apologies. It's not that I'm bored of being here. It's just that I was tired. Yes, and then it's going to be Thanksgiving, and I hope that everybody watching this is staying put. Staying at home, not trying to have dinners with a bunch of people that you don't live with or safely and responsibly bubble with, not traveling for dinner. Yeah, it's fascinating to be coming into this season of really major American holidays, and to watch people's behavior, and to watch, people go, oh, well, surely this virus wouldn't strike at Thanksgiving, or, oh, I've been so careful most of the time that this will be fine, and thank you. And just come up with all sorts of reasons to talk themselves into, oh yeah, this thing that is not going to be safe is totally going to be safe. And it's really frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating to just see the lengths that people are going to pretend that nothing's wrong, which really bugs me. My parents live across the Pacific Ocean, and I'm not expecting that I will actually see them in person again until Christmas of next year, maybe, hopefully, and it's been almost a year since I've seen them, so that'll be 2 years before I've seen my parents in person. So to see people being like, oh yeah, I'm having a Friendsgiving, but it's okay, we all totally took a COVID test 3 days ago, that'll be fine, just stuff like that, stuff where you're like, using the test in that manner is complete security theater, essentially. Virus theater in this particular instance. And, you're doing something that to take all responsibility off of your shoulders of behaving in a safe manner. And that's just not how it works. And it's frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating. And it makes me angry for myself. It makes me angry for all of my friends who have been really hardcore quarantining and being safe since March. It makes me angry for all my immunocompromised friends for whom this is even more of a life and death issue. It makes me angry for all of the frontline healthcare workers who are already falling apart because our hospitals are full, and it's only going to get worse because we've done nothing to control this. So please stay home. You can have a delicious dinner with just whoever you live with yourself, with a partner, with a roommate or friend. I'm going to be buying a bunch of meat and cheese from the supermarket. I'm not even cooking anything. Just a nice bottle of whiskey and a bunch of meat and cheese. And that's going to be the feast. And it's going to be delicious, let me tell you. So please be safe. Please be healthy. Please take care of yourselves and your communities. I'm going to be throwing up some links tomorrow, I think, to Native American organizations and First Peoples organizations, because Thanksgiving is already kind of a weird holiday. It's another one of those Americanized, American exceptionalism look. We totally didn't genocide the already extant population of this country that we found. Holidays, and that it's super problematic, and there have been a lot of joking tweets going around about how staying home and this year and talking to your kids about forcing yourselves uninvited into other people's homes and bringing disease with you is a great way to celebrate Thanksgiving, which is some great dark humor. But I do think that it is nice to have a day that is focused on thankfulness and being grateful for what we have and for the people that we have in our lives. But I think it's also important for us to take a step beyond that and look at the holiday in and of itself, look at what it's built on, and to do something good for the peoples who've been most impacted by American colonialism and all of that jazz. So I'm gonna, I've linked to NARF before, which is a great organization in Boulder, located. They're headquartered anyway. So I'll probably link to them. But I want to find, a list of organizations, throughout the country, maybe some up in Canada as well, and just, some Native Hawaiian organizations, and just. Offer those up as places to donate some time, donate some money on this Thanksgiving holiday. So, yeah, that'll be going up tomorrow. And something I'll be thinking about. I will also be enjoying the time to be grateful for the people in my life and for the things that I do have in my life. 2020 has been a ridiculous and painful year. And it's been really hard, but it's also brought some really amazing things. And it will be good to sit back and just think about that a little bit before we get back to doing all the work that we need to do. All right, my friends. Well, I'd say it's time for good cardio class, and this is I'm feeling the thing that I think we usually feel on Wednesdays. Wednesdays is where our energy is really flagging. We're midway through the work week, or many of us are midway through the work week, and we're sort of equidistant from the beginning and the end of the week, which can feel really exhausting. And you're ready for the weekend, but the weekend still doesn't come for another couple of days. And sure, tomorrow's a holiday, so it doesn't follow quite as neatly as it usually does, but I'm feeling that flagging energy right now. So it'll be nice to have a class, get ourselves jumping around a little bit, and see where we go from there. So let's do our pre-class checklist. Everybody got your water? Mm-hmm. Taking my pre-class sip, as is tradition. You got your comfy clothes on, whatever those are, your mat or your mat-sized space on the floor. And if you are using a fitness wearable, now is the time to turn it on to high intensity interval training. Come on. There you go. All right, we got there. It's fine, guys. It's fine. It's totally fine. Could have another sip of water. Don't forget to hydrate tomorrow, especially if you're drinking more alcohol than you usually are. Hydration. Okay? And if you do have to be out and about tomorrow, be kind and courteous to everybody who has to work a job, okay? If you're stopping into your favorite coffee shop for a latte, don't be a dick to the barista who has to work on Thanksgiving. If you are doing some last minute shopping, don't be a dick to the people who are working in that supermarket so that you can get the stuff that you should have gotten 2 days ago, all right? Don't be a dick always, but particularly to people who have to work outside the home on a holiday. Quad still hurt from yesterday. Yeah. Right? It is critical advice. I think so. So always be kind. We should always be kind to frontline retail and food service people, but particularly on days like this. Don't even get me started on Black Friday. If you must do Black Friday shopping, do it from home, please. 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 I don't think that I could bear the COVID stampede stories this year. I think that would probably just take me to just be a little too much. Just a little too much. All right, my friends. Let's get started. Let's get ourselves warmed up so that we can get that energy running. Have a nice cardio class. So everybody on your mats, on your backs, 1 foot crossed over the opposite knee, and as soon as you hear that timer go, we will begin with our hip rocks and bridges. So here we are. Hip rocks and bridges. If you're new to class, hello, welcome. This is the warm-up sequence that we do at the beginning of every class, so pay attention because it will be a very familiar sight, which is nice. It's a nice through line through all of my classes. And if you are new or just coming back to class after an absence, here is a really good thing for you to remember. I do not need you or want you to be going for 100%, 110, 20% intensity, pushing yourself to the limit thing today. I want you to focus on the bare minimum, and that consists of 3 things, all right? It consists of, number 1, starting on time. So whenever you hear the horn go, you start that exercise, okay? Number 2, stopping on time. We're going to be doing a lot of Tabata timers. They have an ending horn sound, and so you want to make sure that you are doing the exercise until you hear that ending horn sound and not stopping beforehand. It doesn't mean that you're going super fast all the time. Maybe you're just barely pulling yourself along, but you're moving until you hear that horn. So you stop on time. And then the third thing is doing the exercise correctly. As a teacher, one of my biggest focus points is making sure that you have the tools necessary to be working out, to be active and mobile for as much of your life as you want to, okay? And as we lie on our sides and get into our first leg sequence with Jane Fonda here, the place where you start for that, the foundation of that, is form. Paying attention to how you're supposed to position your body through all parts of an exercise, making sure that you are not doing any modifications that are putting you in danger of injuring yourself, okay? So I focus on form a lot, and for all of us. But if you're brandy new here, then that is especially important for you to focus on. So yeah, just focus on the bare minimum, starting on time, stopping on time, and doing the exercise correctly. And if you just focus on those 3 things, I promise you will get an amazing workout. All right, put that top foot flat on the floor in front of that bottom knee. We are lifting the bottom leg while keeping this knee pulled back and pointing up towards the ceiling, all right? Now, this is a great place, speaking of form, this is a great place to start paying attention to knee positioning because it comes up a lot, particularly in squat exercises. This is a really low impact place to work on this, you know? We're not putting any pressure on this knee, any standing pressure, so if you're finding your knee is caving forward, it's not going to be as dangerous as it would be if we were on our feet and doing squats. But I want you to really think about engaging the hip muscles so that you can pull that knee back and hold it in position. If you don't have the hip flexibility to just have it there on its own, okay? And this may be different for you from side to side. Now we take that foot, we put it behind the bottom knee, still lifting that bottom leg. This is the easiest position for us in this leg sequence. This is our beach position, basically. So, you know, we have this foot still flat on the floor, but we no longer have to do any hip engagement to really keep that knee in this position. So we're nice and stable. We're not worried about our hips rocking backwards or forwards or anything like that. We can really just focus on lifting that leg and chilling here. And then when the horn goes off again, we will roll over to our other side and we'll do all of these exercises again, okay? Starting back with those Jane Fondas, so lying on our sides and doing that top leg lift, okay? So that's gonna happen very soon. Hey, here we go. You don't have to swing around the way that I do. I just do that so I'm still facing the camera. So for this one, we want to pay attention to having our body in a nice straight line on the mat, okay? And if you don't have currently the spatial awareness to really be able to tell, okay, have I actually lined up in a straight line, or am I, you know, are my legs forward or backward? Use the edge of your mat. Super convenient. It's a nice straight line, so you can just set yourself up along the edge of that mat and have a really handy guide. Make sure you're engaging your core muscles to help you with this balance, okay? Otherwise, your hips may be tempted to roll backwards or forwards. We want you to be nice and stable up on that hip, which, you know, you can rock around a little bit. All right, so now we're back to this position. So feel the difference from one side to the other, all right? We're not symmetrical creatures, and even though many of us have the same number and types of limbs on each side of our body, you know, one side is going to be stronger than the other, one side more flexible than the other, one side may have better balance than the other, and it's going to differ depending on limb, depending on activity. A lot of it ties into injury states that, you know, and just how how those follow us through our lives, or it may just tie into, you know, this is my dominant hand and so it is stronger just because I am more used to using it for more things, you know? But it's an important thing to learn about your body. All right, last position, back to that beach position. It's important to know all of these different aspects of your body and to know, okay, we're doing a balance activity right now, and I know that it's harder for me to maintain balance on my right foot than on my left foot because I used to sprain my right ankle a lot when I was a kid, or you know, my left arm is weaker at free weight exercises than my right arm is because I have had shoulder injury issues, and that's impacted my strength on that side. You know, the more we learn about ourselves and about our body's capacities, the more intelligently we're going to be working out, okay? And that's our goal. We want to, as I said, we want to be able to be active and mobile for as much of our lives as possible. And these are the things we need to know in order to make that happen. All right, we are moving into scorpion twist. So I've got my forearms planted on the ground. I am not letting my elbows come up at all. All right, and then I'm just swinging one leg backwards, trying to get that foot flat on the floor, trying to get that knee pointing up towards the ceiling, but always knowing that if I hit a point where I cannot twist any farther without having to pull an elbow up, then I've hit the boundary point for this twist, okay? And that's a non-negotiable, all right? So you may be like, oh, but if I just lift the elbow a little bit, then I've got that perfect position. Nope. Keep those elbows locked on the ground. And that gives you a nice measuring stick to check back in as you take class over and over again and see how your flexibility improves. All right, now we are doing our nice big torso rotations. Ooh, I am feeling those hamstrings after yesterday's class. Holy crap. Yeah, we did for anyone who wasn't in yesterday's class, we did a ton of toe squats. And so for those of you who were in yesterday's class, you may be feeling some things in your quads today, in your hamstrings as you go through this big torso rotation. Totally normal. Just remember to be gentle as you move through these stretchy portions of this circle. Nice to get a little bit of an active stretch there. All right, now we're doing squats. For those of you wondering why I'm holding my hands up above my head like this, I'm imagining that I'm holding basically a PVC pipe. So an incredibly light pipe. When I teach this class in person, we have a ton of them at the gym that I worked at in the before times. Obviously, I do not have PVC pipe at home, but we can still pretend because it's about as heavy as just holding my arms above my head. And this is our first opportunity to check in on our squats. So we were talking about squat form earlier. Making sure your knees are going straight over your feet, not caving in towards one another is super important. So if you're not able to do the squat without your knees caving in, then you need to modify. But now we are moving into our Samson stretches. So it's basically a nice big lunge and then raising those arms straight up towards the ceiling. But we're really focusing on the front of the hip flexor. So when we're in this position, pelvis still pointing forward, not opening up, you're really going to feel that stretch right here along the front of the leg, basically where the thigh meets the hip joint, okay? And that's where you should be feeling the most stretch. And when we're raising our hands above our heads, we're not trying to like reach behind ourselves. There's a lot of curve in my back just because of the way that this position is, but I'm still just trying to lift my arms straight up. All right, now we get into this wide squat position and we are twisting our shoulders in towards the midline, one at a time. Everything else is staying in place, all right? So this squat, I'm not coming in and out of it. I'm just holding it. I have my hands on my knees, which helps to keep my knees nice and safely over my feet. And I'm not letting my knees, try and follow inward as I twist the shoulder. But we're really focusing the moving active stretch on getting that little twist in our upper back. And then just having this last opportunity to take a really deep position, open up the hips a little bit. Alrighty, and now we've hit cardio. So we begin with our jumping jacks, as always. And again, we've hit the cardio portion, so we're obviously using more energy than we were at the beginning of class. But we're still not going for 100% intensity yet. All right, so think of the warm-up as our boot-up sequence, okay? So the whole warm-up is structured to give you the opportunity to get all of the systems going that you need to be able to have a good workout. So getting your brain ready to send the electrical signals it needs to down to your muscle fibers and getting your muscles turning on their energy production systems Now we've hit cardio and we're getting our heart rate up a little bit, getting our breath coming a little faster so that we can finish off those systems. Kick-throughs, I will demonstrate them if you're new. I don't do them very frequently anymore because of my own shoulder issues, but you're gonna come up on one arm, shoulder over wrist, and kick the leg across your body. Your standing leg should be at a 90-degree angle, knee pointing up towards the ceiling, and then just shift over to the other side, and you just go back and forth and back and forth. If you're new to this exercise or still figuring it out, go slowly, okay? You don't have to be pushing for speed. Again, focus on form, focus on doing the exercise correctly before you start bringing in more speed, more power, more stamina. And we finish out with burpees, fun times. We do a wave push-up and then a nice big victory clap up at the top. So I jump into my plank, but then I do a wave push-up, keeping my elbows right in by my sides, not letting them flare out, and making sure that I am doing a little jump up at the top like that. And this is our last piece of the warm-up. So as soon as that final horn goes off, you'll be able to stop, catch your breath, get some water, and get prepped for the rest of class. Woo! All right. Let's get that. There we go. Yay, water. Oh, hello, my dear. A chicken disaster. I'm so sorry. Well, even just seeing you bop into chat is wonderful. And I hope the chicken disaster sorts itself out. Oh, dear. But that's why we have VODs. So you can always come back and take class later if you need to. Huzzah! Good job, chicken disaster. Hopefully everyone is safe. No one has ingested salmonella. Oh, yeah. That's always frustrating, especially for something where you have more specific timing. Oh, no. Gross, gross, gross. So sorry. Ooh. All right. Well, it's wonderful to have you in chat anyway. And whenever you have time, you can always come back and do the VOD if you want to. If you need that post-chicken disaster pick-me-up. But for the rest of us, so we're going to be doing lots of tabatas today. Chicken disaster. Yeah, capitalized chicken disaster. It does kind of sound like chicken disaster is the name of like a kaiju or something that has attacked the bottom shelf of your fridge. And you know, I might watch that Thanksgiving movie. It's probably a giant chicken, right? Yeah, I'm here for it. All right, I've talked myself into it. All right. So we're going to be doing a lot of tabatas today, switching back and forth between 30 seconds of work and 20 seconds of work, but always with our 10-second rest. And we're just going to be running ourselves through lots of stuff. I love you all. You're all ridiculous. And it's wonderful. Will, make sure you're drinking water. You're not cleaning up a chicken disaster. Amanda's got, I mean, you should also be hydrating yourself, but you have a little distance from fitness mom voice. All right. While we plan our cover band names, so our first tabata is going to be 30 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest. I almost said 20 seconds of rest. Nope. No, sorry friends. And it's going to be 2 exercises. So all of these are going to be 1 or 2 exercises, depending. This one is 2. First exercise is going to be flying chickens. So feet together and the jump. Instead of jumping and landing and jumping and landing, we will jump our feet out in the air and land them in the same place they started. So out in, out in, out in, out in. And then for our arms, just keeping our thumbs at about chest height. If you wear a bra, super easy to just hook your thumbs behind your bra straps and just flap your elbows like that. Oh my God, my glasses are so dirty. Nothing like a light kit to really highlight how gross your glasses have become. Awesome. Oh, look at that. I can see a little better. And then the other exercise, oh my God, it's shrimps, and I haven't even turned the mat yet. All right. So the second exercise is going to be shrimps. If I can get my puzzle pieces back together well enough. So y'all know my love for this ridiculous looking core exercise where we move ourselves up and down the mat by first moving shoulders, then hips, shoulders, then hips. I've got my abs engaged the whole time. There's going to be particular focus on my obliques as they move, my shoulders, and then my hips in the direction that I'm traveling. And you're just going back and forth along the mat. Alrighty, everybody on your mat, speaking of mats, and let's get this timer going. So we're just going to have 8 repetitions because we only have the 2 exercises. And the first sound does not mean go. Sorry, just putting my puzzle pieces back together. That first sound is our stop sound. Then we have knock, 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 which tells us to get in position, get ready, so that as soon as we hear that horn, we begin. So again, going back to starting on time. This is a huge part of that, right? Is making sure that the second that we hear that horn begin, we are moving. So don't wait for me to tell you, because I will frequently get caught up in various conversational tangents and all that fun stuff. So once the timer is going, that is your teacher in terms of telling you when to switch from exercise to exercise. Now, for shrimps, if you are new to shrimps, they can be a really weird exercise, and sometimes we may end up turning ourselves in a circle, but we're not quite understanding how to move ourselves along the mat. So if that's you, you can start with just small boat rocks and visualize every time your shoulders come up, they move. Every time your hips come up, they move. And you can stick with that for a little bit before then trying to add the movement into the exercise. And sometimes that can help just clarify to your brain what you're trying to do, okay? All right, second time for these flying chickens. Such majestic barnyard fowl. Oh my goodness. I need a chiropractor appointment. Holy crap. My poor shoulder. All right, and now back to our shrimps. You know how much I love them. And you really do need to be feeling the core engagement. So when I say engagement, I mean that these muscles are activated. You can feel them working, okay? For core exercises, usually that's gonna be a contraction, which will then in turn create this rounding in your stomach, this concave rounding that can keep your shoulders lifted up and move you around. But sometimes with ab exercises, we're really good at compensating with other areas And then we go, that didn't feel like it did anything for me. Well, part of it is that you probably weren't actually using the muscles to generate the movement. And that's kind of important. So keep that in mind. And for those of you who've taken class with me for a while, you know that a strong core is a touchstone, in my opinion, of most of the things we do. There are few to no exercises that I can think of where I don't want you to be engaging your core as a component of the exercise. Sometimes we use it for stability. You know, if we need to control the weight of the torso, having an active core can help us to do that. Sometimes, as with the shrimps, we use it to generate the movement itself. But always, it is a really important area, muscle group, for both stability and for generating motion, rotational power, all of this stuff. So working on your core is a great thing that you can do for yourself. And I guarantee that as it gets stronger, you will notice its participation more in exercises where you never really thought about it. Even those flying chickens, you know, I have my core engaged and it's not doing a ton of work, but it's making sure that when I jump, all of my limbs are, you know, going out in different directions. Having an active core keeps everything controlled, so we're not sort of going all over the place. My core is that homing beacon that tells everything where to move and where to return to. So we love core work. Yeah? Guys? Bueller? Well, I love core work and I'm the teacher. So, huzzah. The Ames chicken disaster of 1911. All right, well, clearly we're just going to write a fake historical textbook about various chicken disasters that have occurred throughout history. All right. Oh, water, I love you. And look at that. We've only done one timer, one set of exercises, and I'm already feeling more energized, which is so exciting. And that's the power of this class. That's why I love doing this class each week, because it really has an amazing ability to, you know, counterintuitively re-energize us. I'm terrible at fitness. Hey, there is no such thing, honestly. Fitness has a super bro-y culture, which I absolutely hate and try to push back on. Fitness is for everybody, and everybody can do something to be active and to be athletic. And it differs from body to body, but you know what? We all have that capacity. And the thing is too, we want it to be a tool in our toolbox, right? We want to be leading lives where we're able to do the majority of the things that we want to do. And that doesn't look like a certain thing. It doesn't have a certain size or a certain muscle size or, you know, a certain body shape or anything like that. It's just putting in the effort, moving our bodies around, and that's going to help us. It's going to help us be healthier, and it doesn't tie into any of the terrible kind of bullshitty metrics that we use. It's just, hey, let's dedicate some time to take care of our bodies, whatever that means to us. And, you know, if you can move through this class, even if you're doing only like a couple of reps, each timer, even if you're feeling really exhausted, you're doing a great job. You're doing an amazing job, and I'm proud of you, okay? So, especially when we're doing class over the computer, we've got no one is here to judge us. We're in the safest of spaces. We're in our living rooms, our basements, our bedrooms, wherever you have this set up. Nobody is looking at you and judging you negatively for any any bullshit perceptions they may have. You are free to just look as ridiculous as you want to and try out a class and see if it's something you enjoy, if it's something that you want to come back to. All right, let's move on, my friends. So our next Tabata is going to be 20 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest. So a little bit more of a sprint this time. And just one exercise. We're going to do jumping jacks. Hey, so simple, so timely. We did them in the warm-up. If you have shoulder issues, it is okay to keep your elbows bent for this. Maybe you want to do bigger jumps. You know, in the warm-up, we were doing sort of bare minimum jumps. So take your feet farther apart each time, but you know, y'all know that I have shoulder issues, so it is uncomfortable, if not unsafe for me to be trying to move my arms this far through space. If you don't have shoulder issues, straighten your arms. Do the super traditional jumping jack, just as you may have done it in PE classes past. All right? And let's all get back to our mats. Again, 8 sets. So it's going to be just 4 minutes total. We love these. That is not our go sound. That is our stop and relax sound. It sounds kind of quiet, actually. Let me turn that up a bit. Knock, knock, knock says get ready. And as soon as we hear that horn, we are moving. All right? So again, jumping jacks, there aren't a ton of form notes that I will give for this. But we're talking about engaging your core during flying chickens. See how that feels for this, you know? See how that helps to just give everything a magnet to pull back to while it's moving, right? And, you know, just a way to keep yourself a little more stable so that you're not throwing your limbs out willy-nilly all over the place, which is a really weird mental image I just got, but you know, we're gonna go with it. Oh, all right. Knock, knock, knock means get ready. And yeah, for those of you who are new to class, the knocking sound in our Tabata timers is actually a really critical sound. It is designed to help us start on time, okay? Because it gives us that 5-second warning that the beginning of the timer is about to go, so that we know to get ourselves into our starting position so that we can be moving the second that we hear that horn, okay? So for Tabatas, it is a critical reminder of when we need to go, versus with our perpetual motion sets, where each time the timer goes off, each time the horn goes off, we are moving directly from the exercise we're currently doing into the next exercise, you know? And that is obviously, it has different requirements, but we love our Tabatas because we get that little bit of rest, that little bit of reset, and then we can start from a nice, confident position. We're not worrying about getting here from some other activity that we're doing, which is really convenient. Huzzah, huzzah. All right, you are over halfway through, my friends. Gotta love it, gotta love it. So, you know, this is not the most intensive cardio exercise, and because of that, we can push ourselves a little bit more. We can push for a little bit more speed. We can you know, jump our legs further apart so that we have to power them through more physical space, which adds more intensity on. And so, yeah, we have the opportunity to challenge ourselves more with this timer, which is nice. It's good to have those exercises where we don't feel like we're having to put as much thought and attention into the complexities of form, so we can really just focus in and be like, all right, how can I challenge myself to go faster or further right now? All right, here comes our final set, my friends. Knock, 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 and we are off. So these last 20 seconds, I want you to be moving the whole time. Go for a little extra speed. See if you can add in a few extra reps that you weren't able to do last set. And as soon as that timer goes off, we're good. My poor puzzle pieces, they're just unhappy. All right, let's grab some water. Oh, shoulder. You were going through things. I know. Poor shoulder. Okay. How's everybody doing? We're doing good. We're doing great. But I am going to push us through because I got a little caught up in talking in our last rest. And we have lots of stuff to do. So we're going back to our 30-second work intervals. We're going back to 2 exercises. And the first exercise, sorry, just have to constantly reset these stupid things. My goal for the new year is to have a setup that does not require me to do this all the time. All right. So 2 exercises. First is going to be jump rope. But Blanche, I don't own a jump rope, you say. Neither do I. It's fine because we can mimic the motion really easily. So we're just holding our imaginary jump rope the same way that we held our imaginary PVC pipe, and we're just doing our jumps, okay? And then second exercise is another core exercise, and it's bicycles. So we're coming down to the floor. I am going to contract my abs, and in doing so, it lifts my shoulders off the ground. I'm going to bring one knee in towards the chest and extend the other leg off the floor. And then I'm just going to bring elbow to opposite knee and switch back and forth. So we're really using the obliques to move from side to side, and we're using the abdominals to keep this shape up rather than sinking back down towards the floor. All right, so jump rope and bicycles, 30 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest, 8 times through. Huzzah, huzzah. Here we go. First sound does not mean go. And if you're like, why does she always remind us of that? Of course it doesn't. Well, believe me, even those of us who've been doing class for a good long while still mess that up on occasion. All right, so again, we don't have the physical jump rope, which in some ways makes this easier because we're not constantly worried about catching it on our feet or anything like that. So we can jump at a more rapid pace than maybe we usually can while we are using an actual jump rope, okay? So take the opportunity to challenge yourself a little bit. All right, get ready, get set. Whew. And for these, I do not put my hands behind my head like that because especially with core exercises, it makes people have a tendency to yank on their necks, okay? And that is
a great way to throw our necks out. And our necks are not supposed to be generating any of this movement anyway. So I keep my hands in front of my face just so that I'm not even tempted to be pulling myself forward in an attempt to compensate for core muscles, okay? So always keep that in mind. It's really easy for ab exercises for people to compensate, to be trying to pull themselves forward with their heads, with their necks, with their arms, get done with an exercise and go, man, my neck feels really stiff and sore. Well, it feels that way because you weren't actually using these muscles to generate the movement, and they are the muscles that you're supposed to be using. You are instead using totally different areas and using them in unhealthy ways because they aren't the areas that are supposed to be generating the movement. So always pay attention to which muscle group you are supposed to be engaging for whatever work you're doing, okay? And it's important for you to learn how it feels, to learn the difference between, oh, I'm doing bicycles and I'm actively contracting my core and that is what's lifting my shoulders up, versus my core is not doing anything and I'm just trying to pull myself up through sheer will alone, which is not what we're going for, okay? All right, we are halfway through, back around to our jumping jacks. And again, we talk about form a lot. One of the most important things is that you want to be checking in on it every time because you want your form to be just as strong when you get to your last round of an exercise as it was when you did your first round. And it becomes more difficult as we get tired, as our muscles get fatigued. It gets a little harder to concentrate on what we're doing. So we have to really put some more deliberate effort into maintaining that concentration and making sure that we are still paying attention to all those form notes, okay? So even now, even halfway through, more than halfway through, you still need to be thinking about that, alrighty? All right, last set, my friends. So last time for those jumping jacks. Yee yee, do do do. Oh man, there's a terrible Pavlovian response that develops to this specific sequence of horns, where anyone who's taken this class can come up to anyone else and go dunk dunk dunk, and you immediately go doo doo doo, and yeah, it's a little scary. I can't avoid it anymore. I've been, teaching this class for 2 years and taking it for even longer than that. I've been teaching this class for 2 years. Holy smokes. It's not a surprise. It's just not something I really think about. I guess it's been slightly less than 2 years. 2 years ago was when I got certified as a personal trainer, but it took me another couple months before I started actually teaching this class. But still, almost 2 years. It's a good long while. And look at us now. Look at us now, working out in our living rooms and having a grand old time doing it. All right, my friends. Back to our water. Yes. Oh yeah, much better. Much, much better. I do appreciate these lights. As the sun goes down at like 4 in the afternoon, these lights are, while bright, help me to feel like all light has not disappeared from the world quite yet. So thank you, light kit that I purchased online. You have been extremely helpful, and I'm sure it's nice for you all
to actually be able to see me. Because, yeah, those classes back in August or September, I think, were really funny when it was just like I was a pixelated blob by the end of class because there was no light coming in from outside. All right, we're going back to our 20 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest. And our exercise this time is the turtle wave. So anything with a turtle, we start by rolling up onto our shoulders and then rolling up onto our feet like this. If you need help getting up onto your feet, you can use a hand to push yourself up a little bit, and then plant the hands, jump back into a plank position, do that wave push-up, jump the feet forward, and repeat, okay? And we just go over and over. So that's our one exercise. Nice and simple, and just 20 seconds. Enjoy getting to roll around on the floor a little bit. The childlike wonder is one of the things I really enjoy about the turtle series, as I call it. So just try to have some fun and try to enjoy getting that momentum going from rolling up on your shoulders to up on your feet. All right? And, you know, obviously, sometimes we need to start out by helping ourselves along, pushing ourselves up with a hand, or maybe going over to the side and then pushing ourselves up onto our feet. But try to be working towards being able to use that momentum, because it just makes the whole exercise easier. These exercises absolutely benefit from just being able to use that momentum as a force that carries you easily through all of the different components of the exercise. So see what you can do. Obviously, it may take some time before you get to that place, and that's fine. Oh gosh, I don't know why I almost stood up there. Lost track of what I was doing. Again, we want to make sure that we're doing our exercises correctly. So if that means that you need to be doing a modified version, so that you're not injuring yourself in the quest of doing it perfectly, that is always okay, all right? And it's one of the reasons why it's important for you to have an understanding of your own body, of your different injury states, how they may impact your movement, so that you know how to make those modifications when you need to. I'm not there in the room. I'm not living in your body. There's a weird image. So it's important that you have that knowledge, okay? Because you are the one, ultimately, who is in control of how you're doing these exercises. And if you know that you have, have shoulder issues or wrist issues or something that is going to impact how you perform one of these exercises, then you also need to know, for the times when I don't specifically give you modifications, what modifications you can make to be safer about the exercise. All right? So the more we can learn about ourselves, about how we move, about what our bodies need, the safer we will be, and the longer we will be able to maintain our exercise. Because let me tell you, nothing throws off your fitness schedule like an injury, and that just gets totally in the way, and then sets us up for having to recuperate and then build back some of the gains that we've built. And so the safer we can be now,
the stronger and more powerful we will be in the long run, as opposed to, no, I gotta keep pushing, I gotta push through. Oh, look at that, I've injured myself and need, several months of rest and then PT, and then having to build back my strength over time. And it's just like, it's easier to just take care of ourselves right now while we're doing it. All right, my friends. We've got 2 more sets, 130 to 30 seconds of work, 120 seconds of work. The 30 seconds of work, we've got 2 exercises, no surprises there. First exercise is going to be squat jumps, so my sympathies to everybody who was in yesterday's class. So we're going to squat down, make sure those knees are going straight over those feet, and then jump, 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 and just like that. And then the second exercise is going to be skips, which are going to be nice and simple. We're just basically, you lift a knee, you lift the opposite arm, you hop on the standing leg, and then you switch sides. You're just going back and forth, staying in place on the mat. Yeah, that's all there is to it. So everybody back to your mats so we can get this one going. I want to make sure we get everything in, and we will. We absolutely will. All right, so we're about to start with squat jumps. Remember, if you are not able to safely keep your knees over your feet the whole time, if your knees are trying to cave in, then you may need to narrow your stance. And all right, let me try from here. Okay, I can maintain that. And then you work the exercise from there until you build up the strength that you need to then go, all right, let's try and widen the stance a little bit, okay? So again, paying attention to what we're doing, how to do it safely, and what modifications we may need to make right now. I love those moments where you have 2 words that you're about to say, and what comes out is an amalgam of both of them. But you understood what I was saying. We got there, right? We totally got there. Whew. All right, back to those squat jumps. Man, squat jumps are one of those exercises that always feels like it should be easier, and then always feels super intense. Oh no, my poor dramatic peace lily. I'm gonna, while y'all are doing your exercise over there, I'm just gonna carry my dramatic bebe over here so I remember to water her. There you go. I'll water you after class. Don't worry. Do not worry. All right. And heading back to the skips, you're just frolicking in a meadow somewhere. Maybe a snowy meadow, because the mountains are still covered in snow today, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I am so happy to be moving into winter time. Oh my goodness. I do love winter. And I love snow. You know, it takes a lot to get me to that point in the season where I'm like, all right, snow needs to stop coming. It did happen last year. We had a particularly active snow season last year, and so it definitely, or maybe it was 2 years ago. It might have been 2 years ago, and I definitely got to the end of it and was like, oh my God, if it snows one more time. And it did. It snowed into like June, something like that, which was just crazy. So, good old Colorado, always keeping you guessing. Whew. Man, let me tell you, squat jumps, not for the faint of heart. Those are an exercise that if you ever take class in person with me, I may have you do them off of a Bosu ball, which is basically half a stability ball on a base. And so it adds this new element of balance to the exercise. And whew, it's even more intense than what we're doing here. All right, last time through for both of these. Huzzah. Again, checking in our form. Is your form just as good right now as it was at the beginning? So this is your 4th time through the squat jumps. How's your knee positioning? Still going straight over your feet? Or do you have to narrow your stance a little bit? All right, we are still paying attention to all these things, even though we are at the end of the timer, okay? And our last opportunity to go traipsing through that snow-covered meadow, just imagining that we're Julie Andrews in The Sound of Music, singing away and having a grand old time doing it, and knowing that as soon as that timer goes off, you're gonna get some water, and it's gonna be great. All right. It did snow in May while you were there. Yeah, good grief. Oh, Colorado. I have officially been here for 6 years as of today, which is crazy. Yeah, Facebook reminded me, and it was just like, this is what you posted 6 years ago. And just remembering back to that day, I had slept 1 hour in the previous 48. I had been up all night, packing the last of my apartment, driving boxes of stuff like 2 hours away to store in the basement of a friend's house, and then having to drive home and get another load. And I got to the end of that day, and I had to like take the zip car back to where I had gotten it, and then get the shuttle to the airport. And I had one box of random stuff. It was like alcohol and shampoo bottles and stuff that I couldn't take on the plane, and I literally just left it on a street corner because I was so disoriented and delirious, and I was just like, I don't know what to do. Just someone, so if any of the college students want shampoo and alcohol, here's the box for you. It was crazy. It was, I arrived here and I think I slept for about 14 hours. All right. Our last Tabata, 20 seconds of work to 10 seconds of rest. And guess what, my friends? This is going to be an easy one because you've already done it. It's burpees. Yeah. So, you know my form notes. This time, you just need to pay attention to being a little more energetic, all right? We are going to be putting all of our energy into this. All of that energy that we've been saving, we've been utilizing intelligently throughout class. Now is the time to use it all up because we have nothing more that we are trying to save it for. All right, we have reached the end of class. just here to run through all of that remaining energy, leave it all on our mats. So let's really dive in. 20-second work intervals. It's not a ton of time, so you really have the opportunity to really sprint, basically, because you're getting half of that time back each time as rest. So you can afford to push really hard for those 20 seconds and then get that rest. See if you can bring your heart rate down a little bit and keep pushing forward, right? So really take that opportunity. It's the beauty of the Tabata structure, is building rest and work together and having them be part of a cohesive interval, okay? And we want to take advantage of that, especially right now. Checking in on our form. Remember, just because we are at the end of class does not mean that we are no longer having to pay attention to all of those form notes. So make sure you're doing a wave push-up. Make sure that your elbows are staying in by your sides and you're doing that nice victory clap up above your head. Oh, my friends, we are halfway through, which is so exciting. So just 4 more intervals, including this one. That's nothing at all. So now is the time for us to really start cheerleading ourselves. We get our cheerleaders out, put them on the floor next to our mats, next to our computers, our TVs, wherever you have the stream on right now. They're doing incredible floor routines. They're flinging their pom-poms all over the place, and they are cheering for you because you have made it through a full hour of a really intense class. You have been working so hard, and it has not been easy, but you know what? You have made it through. You're in sight of that finish line, and you've done an incredible job, and you should be so proud of yourself for taking this time out of your day, for setting yourself up, for taking care of your body, taking care of your health, and just going, you know what? The world is so hard right now, and there are so many things that we have to deal with, but I can come here and I can center myself, focus in on just moving my body around for an hour, and I can come out of there feeling refreshed, feeling energized, and ready to go through the rest of my day. Oh, man, good job, everybody. Holy cow. All right, we're gonna do some stretching, I think, because we have earned it. All right. Woo, man, that was an intense class. I don't mind saying. I'm feeling it. All right, everybody on your mats, just take a nice stable position, feet about hip width apart. We're just gonna stand straight up, and first, just let your chin fall to your chest, and then roll up to one side so the ear is pointing down towards the shoulder, then back down through the center and to the other side, and just go back and forth and back and forth. And we're taking control of our breath Bringing our heart rates down. Just anchoring ourselves here on the mat. Now, back to standing. Look over one shoulder to the side, and then back through the center and to the other side. And just go back and forth and back and forth. Gentle. We don't need to be shoving our necks into a stretch. All right, back to the center. Now let one ear come down towards the shoulder. Take that same arm, put the hand on the side of the head. We're not pulling down, we're just letting the added weight of the hand add a little bit more stretch. So we feel that stretch along our scalenes. And release. And to the other side. Same thing. And release. All right. Now we're going to drop that chin back down to our chest, and we are going to slowly, on an 8 count, roll down. So what I mean by that is one vertebra at a time. I'm going to roll my back all the way down to the floor until I am folded over at my hips. So my legs are still staying standing and straight, and I'm just slowly bringing my back over until my hands touch the floor or as far down as you can make it. All right, 8 count. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And shake your head out a little bit just so you're not holding a ton of tension in your neck. You're gonna want a little bit of a bend in your knees so they're not locked. You can let your back sway side to side a little bit. And then again on an 8 count, 4 counts down, 4 counts up. We're gonna squat all the way down and then lift the hips back to this position, okay? Here we go. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, back up, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, take your hands to the opposite elbows. So now gravity is helping to pull your torso even closer to your thighs. You can have that nice little sway side to side in your back, all right? Shake your head out a little bit if you feel tension in your neck. Let those arms come down. And now we're gonna bend the knees and we're gonna roll back up to standing, the opposite of what we did to get down here. On an 8 count, and when you get back up, just stand there. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Stand right here. Don't adjust your clothes. Don't adjust your hair. Don't shift around. Feel that new height in your spine. Feel the blood moving back out to your extremities again. Feel that energy, oxygen moving through your body. Feel ready for the shower, dinner, whatever else you have going on tonight. Let's take a deep breath here. Here we go. And just shake yourself out a little bit. And there you have it, my friends. All right. Woo, what a class. Make sure you're drinking that water. I want you to completely finish whatever vessel you brought to class for water. And then as soon as you're done with that, I want you to head to the kitchen, fill it back up again, and drink some more, okay? Yeah. Humans, adult humans, bad at hydration. It's silly, but it's true. Oh my goodness. Friends, what a great class. What a great class. That was a ton of fun. It was intense, but we made it through. Nice midweek pick-me-up, and a good way to send us into whatever holiday we may have. If you get all of tomorrow off, I hope that you enjoy a nice, relaxing day at home. If you are heading out there and working tomorrow for even part of the day, I hope that we can build a better system that dismantles some of the bullshit of late-stage capitalism so that you don't have to do that. Yeah. What a good class. What a good class. I always feel so much energy after this class, which makes me really happy. I hope you do too. I hope you do too. But now I really want to shower. All right, my dears. We do have 2 more classes this week. See, the holidays this year have been very conveniently placed around my schedule. So thanks, calendar. Yeah, so we are doing our regular remaining classes for the week, which means Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We have functional home fitness, which is weight training using objects you can find around the house. And then, yay! And Amanda will be there, so definitely come on down. And then Saturday morning at 9 a.m. is the weekend kickoff, which is our awesome strength and stamina focused body weight class, which is my other favorite class of the week. So definitely, if you are looking for a little more exercise this week, come on down. They're both great classes, a lot of fun, good community, as you can see. And we're just having a great time over here. I love it. We've got a good little corner of the internet. I'm pleased. I'm pleased with what we're building. Speaking of the internet, you can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All of those handles are in my end cards, but they're all variations on Blanche Case Fitness. My YouTube channel of the same name is where I upload all of the VODs from these streams. And there's also going to be a lot of additional video content starting to go up there. So definitely head over and subscribe if that's your jam. If you want to help support me financially in making these streams, I do have a coffee account, Blanche Case Fitness. Your donations are always very much appreciated. And if you want to help keep growing this community, then definitely please follow the channel. Tell your friends, loved ones, coworkers, anybody looking for an awesome class. We're here 4 days a week. We have a great time. And we're getting closer to, we're getting pretty close to Twitch affiliate, which would be a really exciting milestone. It would open up some opportunities for me to maybe be able to put a little bit more of my overall time towards making content on this channel, which is something I really want to do and I have a lot of plans for. So yeah, let's keep growing. Let's keep building, working out, having an awesome time, feeling really proud of ourselves and the things that we are able to achieve, because that's really what it comes down to. You know, exercise should be a tool to make you happy to exist in your body. And that's full stop.
That's a full stop. It, you know, I don't focus in on any like nutritional stuff. I don't focus in on weight loss. I don't focus in on, you know, massive Dwayne The Rock Johnson style growth. Like, that's not the kind of work I'm focusing on. I want you to feel happy and excited to be living in the whatever particular body you have. And if these classes are helping you to feel that way, then I am 100% doing my job, and I'm really happy about it. All right, my loves, refill those water bottles. Have an amazing dinner. Have a very good holiday tomorrow. I know it's not going to look the way that many of us are used to, but well, look, if you want to look like a Lady Henry Cavill, I am not going to get in your way. I may not be the right trainer, but none of this is going to like keep you away from looking like a Lady Henry Cavill. So yeah, you do you, my friend. You just may need to find some additional classes to round that out. Do you know who Henry Cavill is? He plays Sherlock Holmes in that Enola Holmes movie on Netflix. Yeah, he's just a buff and beefy dude in the Hollywood style, basically. Have you not seen the most recent or second most recent Mission Impossible movie? Okay, look, we can have that conversation offline. I don't need to keep the Twitch stream going for that. All right, my loves. Have a good evening. Have a good holiday. Be kind to people. Please, please keep yourself safe. Wear masks. Wash your hands. Don't go having Friendsgiving or family Thanksgivings just because you had one COVID test a week ago. Let's be safe. Let's keep taking care of each other. And I will see some of you back here on Friday. Have a great night.